All right, welcome to our feature segment here on A Shot of Business Central and a Beer. And today we are excited to talk all things Copilot for Business Central. So kind of our premise here is that you maybe have had your head down, working, getting stuff done, and you take up a look around and you're like, okay, I heard there's Copilot. Don't know much about it, and what are they doing with it? What is it, and how does it work with Business Central? So,
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you'd have to have your head pretty far down if you haven't heard of, well, maybe not specifically Copilot, but maybe AI in general.
AI, I guess, yeah. Okay. Base level knowledge that you have some general awareness of what artificial intelligence is and some of the things that are out there.
Right. I guess so.
Chat GPT.
Is AI Copilot or is Copilot AI? We'll get into that more later. So I would say though, right, if somebody walks in and like, well, we have, no idea that, or Microsoft has ERP, we had no idea it has Copilot. What is Copilot? First, I would say is, well, it's generally what the name is, right? It's a Copilot to what you do. It is an AI-powered assistant that literally helps you be more productive in whatever it is you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I would explain it. And then even if that were too complicated, I guess I would just simply say it's AI. You get to use it however you want. Just try it out.
Yeah, I think you hit the key words there, right? AI powered assistant to help you be more productive and simplify or eliminate tedious tasks, right?
Yeah.
And so Copilot specifically is like Microsoft's branding around the AI-powered features that they're putting into their business products and user productivity products like Office 365, Power BI, the Power Platform, and also the Dynamics products.
And I think they're really branding it, though, not as maybe a little bit different than ChatGPT and other, which people think of AI, where they think AI is going to do it all, right? So Copilot, like you're the co-pilot of a plane, you're really the pilot, the human. You're still in the lead. This isn't taking over your life. This is just helping you out with your daily tasks or whatever it may be. Right. So the branding, I think, is actually spot on by Microsoft.
Yep.
I was going to say, with Business Central, I mean, do you know, is there like a list of features, or is there a place you can find them?
There is.
I don't want to toot our own horn and say it's on our blog, but it's on our blog.
It's on the blog. Yeah. No, there's a lot of places, and we'll go through kind of the list of what some of those examples are and what the status is, because that's been a little bit maybe vague or misunderstood by some people in terms of what are all of the AI-based features that exist in Business Central. And are they live? Are they in preview? Are they coming soon? Those types of things. So we'll get to that. But I think even before we get to that, we should point out that if you're running, this is, first of all, available. These features are all available standard, included in Business Central Online. If you are running Business Central on premise, Copilot features are not available.
So free for BC Online currently.
Well, you're getting to pricing. Yeah. No, available. I'm talking about availability, just availability.
Okay.
If you're running Business Central on premise, these Copilot features are not available to you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that I just got to be clear about that when we're talking about Copilot, we are referring to running Business Central on Microsoft's hosted platform where they're applying updates every month, and you're paying a monthly subscription, and they do the updates for you and everything. So that's kind of a major piece of information, because there's a lot of companies out there that are probably running Business Central on premise.
Oh, it's a huge differentiator, right? I mean, if you want AI infused technology, which I think, and you may disagree with me, but I think in the future, as time goes along, every business is going to want some sort of AI infused technology. And more or less, if you have Business Central, you're going to want to use Copilot somewhere along the line. So if you're on-prem, eventually you're going to want to start thinking about making that change to the cloud, if you can. Not everybody wants to.
As a matter of fact, Michael, I recall a podcast episode where we were talking about the differences and similarities between Business Central on-premise and Business Central online. And you had asked me the question, hey, do you think Business Central on-premise is just going to go away and be gone? And my answer was, not anytime soon, right? Microsoft's motto is cloud first. And what I said then, and I think this is pretty close to being true today, that Microsoft is going to continue to offer both Business Central on-premise and Business Central online. However, if you are a company who is just implementing for the first time, you're going to look at the comparison of those two options and the price points and the additional features and functionality like AI-powered tools that are in the online version, and it's going to become a no-brainer.
Right.
Of which version should we be running?
Yeah, you just got to have all the features and functionality, and I mean, everybody wants the bells and whistles, if you can, especially for the price point. I mean,
right.
But
yeah, now back to your point, how much does Copilot for Business Central cost? Because if maybe you're running Office 365, right, for Outlook and Office. Well, if you want Copilot for Office 365, or what they call Microsoft 365 now, you have to pay an extra $30 in the US per month for the Copilot for Microsoft 365 SKU.
Right.
Whatever, maybe don't quote me on the dollar amount, but there is a monthly fee for that Copilot functionality. What's the price to run Copilot, Michael, in Business Central?
Well, it is $0. Now, is it $0 if you have 5 users, 10 users? Yes, it's still $0.
Right.
But I think the question is, could the price change? And that is subject to Microsoft and what they want to do. But currently, $0.
Yeah, I think just like anything else in life, right? Everything is subject to change. But currently, Microsoft is including all of the Copilot features and functionality it releases into the Business Central product based on the standard essentials or premium SKU.
Right. I'd actually like to eventually reach out to somebody at Microsoft and wonder why, and ask them why, because I think Business Central might be the only product that actually includes Copilot with it for free. I'm wondering what their reasoning is behind that. Maybe it's competitors, maybe NetSuite or whoever's doing it. I just wonder what the reasoning is, but
yeah,
we'll take it.
I mean, as a Business Central fan, I mean, I'm very happy. My guess is, right, it's a huge competitive advantage to demonstrate the AI that everyone thinks a lot of times when people think about AI, they think about the future.
Yeah,
they're like, well, yeah, someday we're not even going to have to work. Yeah. But this is today. It's there.
You just hit us with the future is now.
The future is that a thing? Yeah, is that your
the future
slogan?
Is
now. The future is now, basically. But my point is, it's these are not future things. These are a lot of these are features that are available today.
Absolutely.
And for no additional charge to use them.
Yeah, and they're not only available in the US, these features are available worldwide. So, whatever country you're in, I think we're up to 93 different countries people listen to our podcast. So everyone listening to it, you should be able to get Copilot in Business Central. Hopefully.
Yeah, there is a list. Microsoft, they originally made Copilot features and functionality available really only in English, so that there was more limited availability.
I think it first came out in the US and Canada
for it. Yeah. Not Canada because of French law.
So
French,
US, maybe it was
Canada has like a French English requirement. So it was not Canada originally, but I think now it's more and more. It's increasing. There's actually a page, product availability by geography and languages.
Yeah.
A page that's out there that you can check. But you're right. It's more and more regions as we move forward. So,
all right. So I would imagine then if somebody comes in here and they heard what we're talking about, and they're probably saying, well, we're coming from, let's just say, Business Central on-prem. We've got all these customizations that we're going to move into the cloud or whatnot. The question might be, is Copilot aware of my environment customizations? And you would answer?
Well, kind of depends on what feature you're talking about, but things like some of like there's a tool, for example, where you can analyze your data and build like pivot tables on the data inside of Business Central and utilize Copilot to like write a sentence like, show me all of the records that have this grouped by this, sorted by that. And if it like your custom data, if you happen to be on a page that has your custom data in it, yeah, it's looking at all of the data, whether it's custom data or standard data. It's looking at everything. So in a lot of those ways, or chat with Copilot and looking at stuff. So it kind of depends on what the specific feature is.
Yeah.
But yeah, natively it will consider custom data as it. So
When Copilot first started out, were you on the bandwagon? Or were you like, I don't know if this is going to work? I can't remember. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think we are, even though there are this list of half a dozen plus features that we're going to get to that are available, I think we're still just scratching the surface on it.
Yeah.
Like I think we're going to see more and more, and I think Microsoft's going to continue to invest more and more in Copilot within Business Central to continue to make it even more and more compelling.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting too, eventually, if people are allowed to basically create their own Copilots, to the full extent that they're capable of, and then integrate it with Business Central. A lot of neat and futuristic type things may come from that.
Yeah, I think one of the new features, as a matter of fact, that we're talking about is developer tools, right? That are being going to become available to allow partners or even customers, if they've got a development team in-house, to actually develop their own Copilot functionality into their BC environment.
Speaking of tools and all that, I would have to say that my favorite Copilot feature is probably the integrated chat, natural language chat feature. I love how that you can actually go into software nowadays like Business Central and just tell Copilot in your own words to do something. You know what I mean? And if it can do it, it'll do it. I love that feature. I think that is the chat feature. I think it's an amazing feature.
Yeah, and I think it also too, I've used it a little bit here and there, just as part of the help, right? Like when you go in and you're looking for help. I think when people could think about Chat GPT, for example, you go in, it's kind of looking at, quote, the whole internet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who knows really what it's looking at, right? And it doesn't disclose what it's looking at. I think in the example of the Business Central chat, Copilot chat feature, I think it's looking at a very finite set of data. Specifically like Microsoft Learn documentation and very reputable resources.
Yeah, Microsoft has policies in place to protect your data and whatnot. But I think when you ask the specific question about your data, right, it's just pulling the answers from your data. I don't think it goes outside of your environment for something like that. But do you happen to have a favorite Copilot feature? Or one that you think is...
Yeah, I mean the analyze data on lists.
Yeah.
So like the example I kind of show is like inventory, right? Let's say you're looking at a list of items, right? And you want to see the total on-hand value of all of your items by inventory posting group. Yes, you could go run a report, find a report to run to do it. You could take open that page in Excel, push all the data into Excel, and then create a pivot table how you want. Or you can go into analyze mode and in the Copilot, say, show me the total dollar value of all of my items grouped by inventory posting group and sorted by group ID or whatever. And it instantly builds the pivot table with the ability to drill down on the items under each thing and showing you the total values that you're asking for.
It's amazing.
Just by typing in, here's what I want to see.
Absolutely amazing.
And to me, I'm a accountant is by nature. So like analyzing data and understanding the data and being able to use it. To me, that's the most important thing. That's why you're doing everything, right? That's why you're running Business Central in an integrated system, is so that you can analyze the data. And that tool, to me, that's like that. It's like for like 20 years, I've been hearing from users everywhere, no matter how easy it got to create a report, it was never easy enough. It was always too complicated, no matter what it was. This is literally just typing in, show me items grouped by this and sorted by that. Go.
Amazing.
And it builds it for you.
Yeah.
You literally cannot get any easier.
Yeah.
And if you take this, so that's one list page, and you go, yeah, Ken, that's great, but I've got more complex scenarios where I actually have 3 tables that I got to pull data from, a primary table, and then maybe 2 related tables or 3 related tables that I have to put all together. Great. Let's create a query in Business Central, and you can then query a list page that show those results, and then use the analyze data and lists with Copilot feature.
Amazing.
To build your own reports like that without writing one line of code or understanding what's the table link relationship between this and that. Yeah, someone does have to build that query once up front for you, but once it's created, it's unlimited potential for how you can use that data.
And the speed at which Copilot does it is simply amazing, right? I mean, it builds it.
Yeah, you don't hit go and then have to go to lunch.
Yeah. You don't see the old little clock, the what was the sand clock they used to turn? Remember that?
Well, this will be scheduled and we'll email you when it's done.
Right.
No, it's a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah, the simplicity of which that was amazing. Do we want to mention any other features?
Well, yeah, I think the ability, like we talked about, developing your own stuff. There's pages out there. There's more and more development tools that they're making available on how to integrate with Copilot. I do want to talk about a little bit. This is kind of maybe in the weeds a little bit, but we're talking like we're here saying Copilot. Just want to point out that there are a couple features in Business Central Online that are also AI-based tools that are not officially, maybe kind of part of Copilot.
Maybe.
Like as an example, there's a feature called sales and inventory forecasting. If you look at online at Microsoft's documentation, it's clear that is not a Copilot feature. It's an Azure AI feature.
Which, right? I mean, Copilot is Azure AI, right? I mean,
It's running on in the Azure environment.
So how could it not be?
I don't know.
It's kind of like one and the same.
So there's a differentiation there, at Microsoft with these things and how they work. Another one I think is, I don't know if it's still at cash flow forecasting.
Yeah.
Used to have some Azure, used to say powered by Azure machine learning. I think that's the Azure AI they were talking about, the same type of thing.
Yeah, I looked it up, right? What's the difference between Azure AI and Copilot? And basically what it is Azure AI is really geared towards developers and people like that to build things, where Copilot is more of an assistant tool that is ready to use for just, regular people. But
yeah, so I think I just want to mention that because it's like we're talking about Copilot, but I think we should maybe more broadly make sure we're talking about AI features available in Business Central.
Yeah. Because
those, for example, that I mentioned, maybe are or aren't included under the Copilot feature list.
Yeah, you got me stumped with that one. I do not know.
So,
but I think it's interesting though with what is it, the Business Central's AI infused bank reconciliation. it's always like an ongoing process. It's every being released every release.
Every release, there's improvements to the bank reconciliation Copilot auto matching function. Right.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Should we talk a little bit about Copilot for finance?
Yeah.
With Business Central?
Absolutely. So wait, hold on. Let's take a step back. We talked about Copilot for Business Central. Now we're going to talk about Copilot for finance for Business Central.
Correct. Yeah. Kind of a tongue twister, right?
All right. Yeah. Lead it off.
So, well, my understanding is that basically, Microsoft has like these industry clouds, you know what I mean? Manufacturing, whatever it may be. So I think Copilot is just really a Copilot that is geared towards financial, their finance industry cloud, if that's what they have. I don't know, actually. I really don't know how to explain it. I guess it's just an advanced level of financial support through AI robots.
Well, here's how I would say it. Microsoft 365 Copilot for Finance for Business Central is the combination of Copilots between Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365 Business Central. So it's bridging those two. And specifically, it's adding features inside of one, Outlook, and two, Excel,
right,
where you can enable these add-ins inside of Excel and Outlook that are working with data from Business Central.
Yeah. So in the example that I saw, you're absolutely right. Copilot for Finance, while being used in Outlook, was able to pull information from Business Central without Business Central's application being opened. So it could access the data and then perform a little bit more functionality than actually Business Central added could in Outlook.
Yeah.
We're getting kind of technical.
Yeah, it is. And as a matter of fact, and what also kind of makes it confusing is if you look at the Microsoft Learn site about Business Central Copilot,
yeah,
it specifically there's a question here. It says, does Copilot in Business Central work with Copilot for Microsoft 365?
Yeah.
And it says currently there is no connection between Copilot in Business Central and Copilot for Microsoft 365. But with Copilot for Finance for Business Central, that is the bridge.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
that is the linking of those two products together.
And I think that's where my mind just doesn't seem to work, that Copilot is different, I guess is a different product for different products, right? Where Microsoft 365 Copilot is different than Business Central 365 Copilot. To me, it's just one and the same, you know what I mean? But
Copilot's just the brand, right? These are AI tools that we're introducing. So that's how, in my mind, Copilot for Business Central for Finance, Copilot for Finance for Business Central is bridging those two, Microsoft 365 Copilot and BC Copilot.
Yeah.
Right. And specifically, what I did a little investigation and setup and testing. And it's specifically kind of two things. I didn't get into the Outlook side as much, but in Excel, what you can do is you can basically push data from Business Central into an Excel workbook, and then push another set of data, maybe related data, into Excel. And then using the Copilot for Finance for Business Central tool, you can basically say, reconcile these two sets of data. And what it does is it will compare the two and builds you like a really nice comparison going, these are the differences between these two files. So like imagine, we're like in an audit. Let's say you're going through an audit and you have a list of detailed general ledger entries from that someone had in a report. But now you're in Business Central and the numbers totals are different. And you're like, why are these numbers different? Well, you could dump the detailed general ledger entries into Excel for that period of time, have that other Excel spreadsheet you had there, compare the two, and it's going to tell you exactly which transactions are
Wow.
new or different.
Amazing.
Before, a user would have had to
Right.
manually build those tools. And if you're good in Excel, you might be like, piece of cake, Ken.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. But
To the average
not
person.
everyone's
Yeah.
that good in Excel, trust
Right.
me. So to be able to just set two sets of data in there and go compare these two sets of data, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going forward, the more functionality that it'll get is even going to be even better. Right now, it's basically just been talked about and released, and nobody knows too much about it. Like I said, they've got that call coming up on October 1st, so we're going to learn a lot more then. But yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing. All right, let's see. Anything else you want to mention about PC Copilot? Is it working on-prem?
I think we covered that, Michael. Does not. Yeah, no. So I think, it's really, really exciting times. I think you're gonna. So I guess just to make sure we promised earlier, last close out. Let's make sure we hit all the features that are available in Copilot. So I'll start with one of them is auto creating detailed item descriptions, marketing text for items, I think is what it's called. So that's one where if you have an item number, item description, and you have a bunch of attributes set up for the item, you can it's kind of like using ChatGPT to say, hey, on this item card, build me a really nice a description of this item.
Nice. All right, I'll talk about there's one function called create sales lines with Copilot. And this just really allows like salespeople to create sales lines more efficiently, by leveraging the AI, functionality of Copilot by suggesting things in automation. So users can basically, they can draft and refine sales orders more quickly, while the tool is going to actually recommend products, quantities, and pricing, whatever, based on past orders and whatnot. So it's always learning as well. So
yeah. Yeah, we talked about the bank reconciliation features already, so I will skip over that one, but I do want to talk about there's a new feature coming out to basically use Copilot to use natural language to build Power Automate workflows. So this was, Power Automate is built in, it's fully integrated out of the box with Business Central, although you have to build all your automations, right, your workflows. And it's low code, no code is how they say it. But you kind of need some technical capabilities to build these workflow models.
yeah,
And what they're adding is the ability to just use natural language to have it auto create that workflow for you a little bit easier. So I think I would anticipate that with the introduction of this natural language Copilot tool to build these Power Automate flows, I would anticipate we're going to see a higher level of adoption for Power Automate in Business Central.
think so?
Yeah, it's just too complex for end users, right? And these are Power Automate inside of Business Central is really designed for users or at least power users at an organization to build and maintain these workflows, right? If you were reliant on your Business Central partner to do it, they could just do it with code.
Right.
They can just create an extension for you and create that. But with Power Automate, you get the ability to integrate more easily with Teams and Outlook and our other applications. And also it's, I think, more unlimited capabilities without writing code.
Can't wait for a Copilot and Power Automate. All right, one of the other ones that I like is there's a feature called Use AI to predict late payments, and what this is Copilot is actually going to help you predict whether sales invoices are going to be paid on time or whatnot by looking at past, just looking at the customer's history basically or whatnot. So the goal is to help you get in front of the customer or whoever it may be before that invoice is going to end up being late. So you're just trying to save some time, save yourself some money, some risk, that type of thing. Yep. So.
Yeah. Similarly, there is a cash flow forecasting analysis tool. So cash flow forecasting is a standard kind of feature that's been built into Business Central for many years. It allows you to take all of your accounts receivable, accounts payable, even open purchase orders and open sales orders, other recurring uses of cash like rent payments or other recurring payments, and basically create a visual projection of your cash flow forecast. And it's really great for like looking at, the next 30 days, let's say, like which direction is our cash flow heading over the next 30 days to give you a heads up, like, hey, how are we doing? Is our cash going down? Do we need to really ramp up collections here to avoid having to maybe use a line of credit or something? So what this does is there is AI that will actually kind of extend that functionality to possibly give you even a greater, longer term cash projection.
Nice. Well, I'm going to use a term that a lot of the kids use nowadays because this is a banger of a feature, right? E-invoice matching with Copilot in Business Central. This could be a total game changer for a lot of people. So it's going to take the hassle out of matching your invoices with purchase orders and receipts. It's going to use AI to do all that heavy lifting. And it's also, Copilot's also going to, catch like the inconsistencies, flag some errors if there's any errors, and basically just ensure that everything lines up perfectly with your transactions. So that could be,
Yeah.
You didn't already say that one, right?
No,
Just want to make sure.
no, you're good. Yeah. And let's see, I talked about the analysis tools, like the page analysis where you can build pivot tables right within Business Central to kind of summarize your data for you. But I do want to talk about kind of the help you mentioned, which is chat, kind of a chat for Copilot chat inside BC, where you can type in, kind of embedded in the online help is the ability to kind of ask it a simple question, without having to dig through menus or look for stuff.
Yeah.
You can just ask it a question and it'll return pretty good content back to you.
Yeah, it gives it a little bit of a human element, if we could say that, where you can actually talk to it.
Yep. I think, did we hit them all?
I think we got them all. All
right.
right, so next up then, we'll just go through a little bit of AI snack time, talk about a little bit more Microsoft.
More AI.
Yeah, I know people might be tired of it, but I got a couple things for you. So,
as we end today's podcast, we want to give a big thank you to everyone who listens, shares this podcast, and leaves us reviews. You've taken a good amount of your time out of your day, and we truly appreciate it. Thanks again, and don't be afraid to email us at marketing@solsyst.com with your tips for the podcast, or maybe you'd even like to be a guest during an episode.